Have you ever wondered what true respect really means? It's not just about admiration or politeness. For the US Navy SEALs, respect is forged in the crucible of extreme pressure, and it's something you earn, not something you're given. There's a story, an almost legendary one within their circles, that boils this entire concept down to just 13 minutes. It's a story that will completely change how you think about mental toughness and what it means to command respect. So picture this Hell Week. It's the infamous 5.5-day ordeal that weeds out the majority of SEAL candidates. We're talking non-stop physical and mental torment, with maybe 4 hours of sleep in total. The instructors are masters of pushing people past their breaking point. Their goal isn't just to make you quit. It's to see who has the unbreakable will to lead when everything has gone wrong. In this particular class, there was one boat crew, Boat Crew 2, led by a young officer. Throughout Hell Week, they were constantly finishing last. In every single race, every evolution, they were the losers. And in the world of the SEALs, last place means more pain, more push-ups, more time in the freezing surf, more misery. The instructors were relentless, targeting this officer and his crew, calling them failures, trying to break their spirit. The crew was on the verge of splintering. They started blaming their leader. The frustration was boiling over. It's easy to be a team when you're winning. But what about when you're at the bottom, covered in sand and shivering, with no end in sight? This is where most teams and most leaders fall apart. The officer knew this. He knew his team was losing faith in him. He had to do something, not with words, but with action. Then came the final night of Hell Week, the climax. The instructors announced one last race, the longest, most grueling boat race of the entire week. The stakes were higher than ever. The winners would get a few precious hours of sleep. The losers, well, they'd have to keep working until morning. For Boat Crew 2, this was their last chance, but by now they were physically and mentally shattered. They had already accepted their fate as the loser boat. As they lined up, the instructor in charge looked at the exhausted officer and his demoralized crew and sneered, "I bet you'll come in last again, but this time something was different." The young officer looked back, not with defiance, but with a calm, steely resolve. He simply said, "No, sir, we will not." He then turned to his crew, looked each man in the eye, and said, "We are going to win this." And then it happened. For the next 13 minutes, something almost magical unfolded. This crew, who had been last in everything, started paddling with a synchronicity and power no one had seen from them before. They weren't just paddling. They were a single, unified machine, driven by a renewed purpose. They passed one boat, then another, and another. The other crews, stunned, could only watch as the loser boat surged ahead. They crossed the finish line first. They had won, not by a little, but by a lot. The instructors were speechless. The entire class was in shock. In just 13 minutes, this officer had taken a broken, defeated team and led them to a decisive victory. How he didn't scream or threaten. He absorbed all the blame, took all the punishment, and never once gave up on his men. He led from the front, sharing their suffering. And in that final moment, his unwavering belief in them became their own. He earned their respect not by being the strongest or the fastest, but by being the toughest, most resilient leader. That 13-minute race became a legend. It's a story told to new recruits to teach them the most important lesson of all. Respect isn't about your title or your rank. It's about your character. It's about proving through your actions, especially when things are at their worst, that you will not quit on your team. It's about showing them that you will bear the weight of leadership, no matter how heavy it gets. That's the kind of respect that can turn the tide in 13 minutes, and it's a lesson that applies far beyond the battlefield. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the way you think. See you next time.